Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching The Tangled Cat Speaks, and this is a crafting edition. So, here I am in Albuquerque. It is May. It is not May, it is April 7th, and I mostly talk about knitting and crocheting, and sometimes I'll talk about other crafts like cross stitch or doing puzzles or whatever, but today is just going to be about knitting. And I did finish something that has been taking me a very long time, and I've been teasing about it for many episodes. And I'm gonna have to actually put a picture up here because they were a gift and I gave them to my son, so I don't have them anymore to show you, but I do have this picture. These are socks that I made. Again, I made them, originally started making them for myself, and I was just about done with the first sock when my son saw them and said he liked them, so I said, okay, sure, they're yours now. So I had to rip back that sock, and I didn't start completely over because we have ankle circumference is pretty similar, so I didn't have to pull all of it out. I just pulled out from where I was about to start the toe, and I ripped that out back to the gusset stitches. He did want it a little bit wider because we have the same foot circumference too, but he wanted it a little bit looser. So instead of the normal 64, I went ahead and did from the gusset stitches, I ripped out some of the decreases so that I ended up with 72 stitches, and then continued on the rest of the foot with that. And he's obviously got a longer foot than mine, so it did take quite a while. And mostly I was just kind of procrastinating and starting new things and kept putting those to the side, but I finally got them done and he has them now, and they're super cool. The yarn that I used was from a breaking yarn, and I do have quite a bit of it left actually, because I only made the socks like just above the ankle. I would say maybe it's from the top of the heel flap, I would say maybe about 4 inches total. So I did have a lot of yarn left over, and this is the yarn, and I'm thinking I might use this in a hold it double and add some other yarn, because this is not going to be enough, but hold this double to make a DK weight and mix it with something else to make DK weight socks for myself. So that's that. This was yarn that I got from McKaylee's experiments page on the Breaking Yarn website, and I love it, and it turned out super cute. The yarn that I used for the heel, I don't remember what that was. It was a leftover that I'd had laying around forever, and I just thought the contrast of the pastel rainbow with this just looks super cute, so that's that. And then I used it was Knit Pick Stroll Black for the cuff. Yay! So speaking of McKaylee and Breaking Yarn and her experiments page, I'm going to put a picture up here of some yarn that I have had for ages. Now the solid green is Knit Picks also. It's the Shadow Lace yarn, and the green shade is Reed Heather, and the color that you see in the middle of that picture is from Breaking Yarn, from her experiments page, and it's also a lace weight yarn. She dyed all of these vibrant, bold colors over a gray base, and I just thought it looked so wild and funky, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna turn out super cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Had it for years and didn't know what to do with it, and I tend to store my yarn by brand, so I had the Knit Picks stuff in some bins over here, and then I have the breaking yarn stuff in another bin. So I never really thought to put these two together, but I was stash diving, which sometimes is super fun. And, you know, it reminds me of things that I've had forever. And then I start to get this joy all over again of like, ooh, yeah, that was super cool. And I want to work with it. So I went ahead and pulled out the lace weight. I knew I wanted something lace. And so I went into all the different bins and I'm like, you know what? Those two colors look like they might actually look really cool together. Something that didn't occur to me. I knew I had both of these yarns. I just didn't think to put them together because they were stored separately. So I didn't see them together until this past weekend. And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna do it. So, and I had also, the reason why I knew I was looking for lace weight was because Expression Fiber Arts, she sometimes puts out free knitting or crochet patterns, and she had just put one out, and I'm going to put a picture of that shawl here, an all over rectangular lace shawl. And I thought, wow, I want to make something. I want to make that in something that I already own. I didn't want to spend money, and that's how I came about this whole stash diving for lace weight yarn. And so I put it all together, and I thought I'm going to do the multicolored yarn in the middle, in the center. So I'm going to start it with the solid green. These are 50 grams, and I've got two of them. There's one here, and I've already got the other one wound up over here. So I was going to put this on one end and then put the multicolored yarn in the middle, and then end it off with the other ball. And I'm like, oh, it's going to look so cool because this green is in, this shade of green happens to be in this whole wild splash of colors that McKaylee has in her yarn. And then when I wound it up, I'm like, this is very different, but in a very good way, because like I said, the colors just looked very bold and bright and wild. And then when I wound it up, it looks so soft and peaceful. I don't know, that's not the right word, but it's just, it looks much gentler than it did wound up, not wound up, but you know, in skein form. But in the cake, it just looks so much softer, but it still goes. You can see there is some of that, like especially right here, there is some of this kind of spring green in there, so it's gonna work. But it's gonna be more of a higher contrast than I was expecting, I think. But I am kind of glad though that this looks softer than what I was expecting, because now I don't think I'm gonna lose as much of the lace in this variegated yarn. I don't know why I've been having this thing where I want to pair variegated yarn with lace, because most of the time the lace doesn't show as well because of that. But I think this is going to work out. I think it's going to be super, super pretty. And I don't think I'm going to lose much of the stitch definition. So very, very happy. So I have already cast that on. I think it's a 3.75 millimeters. So it's a US 5 needle. So I've already started, and it gets into the lace right away. Ooh, you can see it. Oh, it's so pretty already. So yeah, very, very excited about that. And then speaking of older yarn that I've had sitting around for ages and ages and ages and ages, Pandia's Jewels. She is no longer dyeing yarn. But I have a bunch of it. And I am going to put another picture up here of what two skeins that I decided to pair together. Now, the pink one is called Pink Fluffy Llama Corn. And if you kind of see in that picture on the pink one, there's a stitch marker that I do have somewhere around here. I'm not using it right now because I don't know where it is, but I do know I have that stitch marker. And it's a llama with a unicorn horn, so she calls it a llamacorn. And the color is called Fluffy Pink Llamacorn. And you can see it's very bright pinks and oranges and yellows and purples. And then the other color, the more bluer grayish color, is called Wonder Llamacorn. And I think because those colors kind of look like comic book Wonder Woman superhero type colors, so she called it Wonder Llamacorn. And I just think they're super cool. I just loved them, but I didn't know what to do with them because they're so bright and wild. And these are both on a super sparkle fingering weight base, so there is some glitter involved. And so these are them wound up. I already got a cheesy grin because they just look so, it does kind of, well, my light is kind of washing it out, but it does kind of look like comic strip colors. So it's a very clever name. And then this is the bright one. Now, what am I doing with it? Well, I am holding them double to make a DK weight pair of socks. And oh my goodness, I am in love, love, love. So this is what I've got going on. DK weight, these are also 3.75 millimeter needles. And I like working on DPNs. Now this color is also Pandia's Jewels, and it's also on the Super Sparkle, but I don't know the name of this color. I used it in so many different things over the years. It's another one of those leftover type of yarns that it just keeps going, keep finding uses for it. But it's always like a little pop of color here, a little pop of color there. And that is my heel. I don't think I'm gonna have enough to do a pair of toes with this. So whatever's left over, I'm gonna use, and I'm positive I'm gonna have some of these two left over. And then, hold on, I gotta reach over here because I didn't plan ahead. I've got another Pandia's Jewels that I used in something else. I don't remember. And I don't remember the color of this. I'm gonna, if I can look it up and find out, I will let you know. But this is another Super Sparkle by Pandia's Jewels. And then this one is a sparkle base. I don't remember the name of this. I'll have to see if I could find it because I know this one I got off of Etsy, but it's also got sparkle. And you probably remember I used this to make a bunch of 8-petaled flowers when I went to go see the Stray Kids movie in the theater, and I was making freebies for other Stray Kids fans. So that's some of this. And I used this also, I used to have 2 skeins of this originally, and I used it in I made a stuffed cat for my son. So this is the what I have left, and I thought after I am done, oh, hold on, I'm trying to balance stuff here. After I'm done with these DK weight socks, I'm gonna probably put the rest of all of the leftovers together in just a simple triangular shawl, probably just stockinette, just a stockinette basic triangle shawl. Put that all together and just, or maybe a crescent. Maybe a crescent will be more fun. I don't know, but it's gonna be a shawl of leftovers. But I think it'll be fun. And that is what I'm working on. Very cool, very fun. Let's see. Hold that thought. I haven't done any cross stitching in a while, and I haven't worked on my puzzle. Very sad, but true. I'm not sure if I showed these to you guys. I have, I'm sorry. But these are Bad Sheep yarn, and they're still in the plastic. I got these a while back. You can probably tell. In March I got them because I was super excited by this color. And then I thought, well, I need something to go with it. And I'll have to put a picture of the shawl that I'm planning on making with them. But this is sometime in the who knows when future. But I am going to put these all together, and I hope that it turns out okay. Sorry for all this crinkling, but I hope it turns out okay because these are all different bases. This is a sparkle base. I'm trying to find End of the Rainbow. It is very St. Patrick's Day. And then I got this mini to go with it, and it's a similar green, not quite identical, but similar enough to make me happy. Then I chose to put in this one, which is, what was this one called? The solid green is called Emerald. Go figure. This one is Aquamarine, which is a very pale speckle. It's got some like mint greens and lavenders. There's some pinks and teals in there, in the sparkles. So that's gonna go there. And then I got that exact same color, Aquamarine, but I got it on, what is this called? It's a mohair, I think. Or is it Surrey? Hold that thought. It's Surrey Alpaca. And it's the same color as this, but the base makes it look very different. But I thought it would be really fun to pair or to put together all of these different, because this fingering weight is slightly heavier than these two. And then of course this is going to be way, way thinner than all of them. But I think it'll be fun to kind of play with textures and see how it all kind of works out in this shawl, even though this shawl does not call for that. But I'm doing it anyway, and I think it's going to be super fun. So that's what I bought myself recently because I felt like I deserved it. I was kidding. Actually, that is how I felt, but I'm not. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. But that is it. That is all that I have got going for April. I'm so lost. I just lost my entire train of thought. Yeah, so I'm very happy that I finished those socks for my son. These ones are a gift for someone. She doesn't even know that I'm making them. I hope that she has a foot similar to mine. It looks like she does, but we shall see. And I'll probably do the same thing that I did with my son. I'll get them close to the, I'll finish them, but I won't tuck in the ends on the toes and then just have her try them on. And then if I need to adjust, then I can do that. And it's already getting warm here in Albuquerque for April. So we're having that, it might be a hot day. It might be a drizzly rainy day, who knows. So DK weight socks are probably not in season right now, but she'll have them. And I didn't mention this earlier, but I did my Eye of Partridge heel, which I just adore. anyways, I'm starting to ramble. So let's change the subject. I'm done with the yarny talk, but I watched or am watching some series. I finally finished season 1 of the anime Demon Slayer, which is really, really fun and crazy and wild. I'm about to start season 2, and it's exactly what the name says. It's Demon Slayers. So this kid is training. He trained to become a demon slayer after his family was killed by demons. Everyone except his older sister. His older sister was turned into a demon, but there is something different about her, where she is able to resist the urge to feed on humans, and she will also defend her brother. So all of the other demon slayers are like, what is going on? I don't understand. And he's trying to find, he's just sure that if he can find the right people, that somebody somewhere is going to be able to cure his sister. So that's what the whole premise is. And I'm about to start season 2. And then I found Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. I wasn't going to watch it because I think it was on HBO. I think it was HBO, but I didn't have that. And then, no, not HBO, it was on Apple TV. But then I just found out that there was a season 2. So I went ahead and I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get the add-on through my Amazon Prime. And so I'm watching that now. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters is another Godzilla story, and I think it's following the Godzilla movie that had Bryan Cranston. It follows right after that movie. I know there was several movies after that, but this is like right after the first movie, and it's kind of talking about how Monarch got started and how all of these titans are being researched and everything. So I'm having a good time, and Kurt Russell is in it. Gotta love Kurt Russell. Gotta. And then I don't remember her name, but I love her. She's one of the main characters, and she was one of the lead characters in Shogun. Oh my gosh, she did so good in Shogun, and now she's in this show. She is so good. And just having a really, really good time with it. And I think they even have, it's Kurt Russell's son who's playing the younger character that Kurt Russell is playing. So there's the one character, but there's the 2 different ages, and Kurt Russell's son is playing the younger version. Super fun, super cool. I'm really enjoying all of the show. I just wish that there was more of the monsters, because that's what I want to see. The storyline is cool. The people are interesting. I'm really enjoying all of that, but I want more of the giant monsters. But when they are on screen and they are battling or fighting or whatever, it's so fun, and it makes me want to find another, to see if I could find a book about kaiju and those big type of creatures. I just love that stuff. It always makes me think of my mom, because it was her who got me into Godzilla as a kid. On weekends, either Sinbad the Sailor would come on, or Godzilla, the old black and white Godzillas, those would come on, and I would just sit there and watch them with her. And it's just been like one of my loves since I was very, very young. So I'm very much loving Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. And then on Netflix, I started a couple of series actually. One is called Pursuit of Jade. This one is a Chinese period drama, romance. It is campy, but it is so beautifully done. Like the costumes are gorgeous, the set is beautiful, the music is pretty, the people are just stunning, and it's just a campy little love story. And it starts off with this young girl. She's raising her much younger sister. Her sister is like a toddler, and this girl is, I would say, maybe early 20s, but she's a pig butcher, and she has her own stall and she sells the meat, but everybody just finds it weird that a woman would be doing this kind of work. But she kind of had to because her parents died. But she's also known for being very strong physically and as well as in her personality. But it's kind of funny because they talk about how she could just knock a pig out with her fist, and she's just super strong, and she could handle butchering the meat and everything. And there is an intrigue going on because she owns her, or she's staying in her family's home, her parents' home, but there's other family members who think that now that they're dead, the parents are dead, that they can take the home away from her. And so she's going through all of this drama trying to keep her house. And in the meantime, she is walking through the forest in winter, and she finds this guy just almost dead in the snow. He's buried in the snow. She uses her amazing strength and she carries him back to her home, and she's got a neighbor who's one of the nicer people. He happens to be like a physician, and so he's helping her get this man to heal and everything. But he's, it's a slow process, and of course in the process they're sort of falling in love. So it's super cute. It's corny, but it's one of those things that I watch it and I just feel myself getting this ear to ear grin, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm in episode 9. When are they gonna kiss already? It's such a cute show. The other thing that I'm watching on Netflix is called Phantom Lawyer. Now, this is a Korean drama, and it's about this guy. He's an attorney, and he was trying to get hired on into a firm, but every time he would go to different firms for interviews, they would just automatically, for whatever reason, just no. They didn't even give him a chance. And so he ended up getting money. His mom lent him the money to open up his own office, and then he's like trying to figure out how he's going to get new clients. And it just so happens that the office that he's renting used to be where a shaman would work, and whatever the souls the shaman had dealt with still seemed to be lingering in that building. And so now this guy can see the ghosts, and every episode is about him trying to help these ghosts figure out who they are and then how they died. And it always ends up being some sort of criminal aspect, so he's being a lawyer for the dead person. So it's funny. It is so hilarious. I'm having a blast watching that one. And there's another attorney that's involved, and she's trying to figure out why this guy is acting so weird, because every now and then these ghosts can also possess him, and he doesn't remember afterward what they did. And it often ends up they're in court against each other. She's like, what is going on with this guy? How does he know all of these details of these people's deaths, and how is he winning his cases? Like, what is going on? And every now and then he just acts strange. It's because he's possessed by the ghosts. It's, again, very silly and just strange. The storylines are kind of, I don't go into Korean dramas with a whole lot of, oh, this is a strong plot, this has got, there's going to be plot holes, and it's going to be very silly, but it's very entertaining to me. And having a really good time with that show. But that's all that I've got going on right now, except for the books that I'm reading, which I'm going to talk about in another video. So I will leave you all here as far as the yarn stuff and things that I've been watching on TV. And I will go ahead and record all of the book stuff for another episode. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me, and I will see you again next time. Bye.